Hey everyone, Dr. Wonderworks here. History is more than just names and dates in a textbook. It's full of juicy secrets, shocking scandals, and straight-up cover-ups that would make your jaw drop. Think about it. Governments and powerful people trying to hide the truth, to rewrite the narrative, to control what we think we know about the past. Over the course of human history, there have been countless attempts to bury the truth, to sweep inconvenient facts under the rug and pretend they never happened. But as we know, the past has a funny way of catching up with the present, whether it's through leaked documents, whistleblowers with a conscience, or just plain old-fashioned detective work. The truth, as they say, will out. And that's what we're diving into today, the top 10 historical cover-ups that will blow your mind. From political scandals that shook nations to scientific experiments gone wrong, get ready to question everything you thought you knew. Let's get started. Picture this, 1972, the height of the Cold War. Richard Nixon, a name synonymous with presidential power, is running for re-election. Seems like a typical election year, right? Wrong. In the dead of night, 5 men are caught breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate Hotel. A seemingly minor incident, or so it seemed. But as reporters dug deeper, they uncovered a web of lies, deceit, and dirty tricks that stretched all the way to the Oval Office. The Nixon administration went into full cover-up mode, denying any involvement and attempting to obstruct the FBI's investigation. Tapes of Oval Office conversations were subpoenaed, revealing Nixon's role in the cover-up. The scandal snowballed, captivating the nation and eroding public trust in the government. In the face of impeachment and certain removal from office, Richard Nixon resigned in disgrace on August 8, 1974. Watergate wasn't just about a break-in, it was about the abuse of power, the fragility of democracy, and the importance of truth. Our journey through history's cover-ups takes us to late 19th century France, a time of political turmoil and rising anti-Semitism. At the center of this storm was Alfred Dreyfus, a Jewish artillery officer in the French army, falsely accused of treason. Dreyfus was convicted in 1894 based on forged documents and sentenced to life imprisonment on Devil's Island, a remote penal colony. The case against Dreyfus was flimsy, fueled by anti-Semitic sentiments that permeated French society. Despite his claims of innocence and growing public doubt, the French army, desperate to protect its reputation, doubled down on its cover-up. Evidence pointing to the real culprit, another officer, was suppressed, and further forgeries were used to solidify the case against Dreyfus. Émile Zola, a renowned novelist, published his famous open letter J'accuse in 1898, directly accusing the army of a massive cover-up. After years of struggle, retrials, and relentless campaigning by Dreyfus's supporters, he was finally exonerated in 1906. Our next stop is Macon County, Alabama, in 1932. The Great Depression hits hard, and African Americans face severe hardships. The U.S. Public Health Service and Tuskegee Institute start a syphilis study. 600 African American sharecroppers were the subjects. They were promised free health care but denied treatment. Even after penicillin became the cure in the 1940s, the study continued in secrecy for 40 years. Subjects endured painful procedures. The truth emerged in 1972, causing national outrage. The Tuskegee syphilis study is a stark example of medical racism. Chapter 4. The Iran-Contra affair, arms deals, hostages, and a shadowy network. In the 1980s, Cold War tensions peaked. The Reagan administration was caught in the Iran-Contra affair. Secret arms sales to Iran aimed to free hostages in Lebanon. Funds were funneled to Nicaraguan Contras, bypassing Congress. The scandal questioned Reagan's presidency and executive power. The Roswell incident, UFOs, alien autopsies, and a desert mystery. Hold on to your tinfoil hats because we're about to enter the realm of extraterrestrial intrigue. It's July 1947, the desert heat shimmering outside the small town of Roswell, New Mexico. Rancher McBrazel stumbles upon a debris field of strange metallic material scattered across his land. The local newspaper reports a crashed flying disc, sparking a media frenzy and igniting the world's fascination with unidentified flying objects. The Army Air Forces initially confirms the recovery of a flying disc, But within hours, the story changes. The debris is now identified as a downed weather balloon, a seemingly plausible explanation in the midst of Cold War paranoia. Whether or not you believe in aliens, the Roswell incident remains a cultural touchstone, a symbol of government secrecy, and the enduring allure of the unknown. The Gulf of Tonkin, incident phantom attacks and the escalation of the Vietnam War. In August 1964, the USS Maddox reported attacks by North Vietnamese torpedo boats. These incidents led to the escalation of American involvement in the Vietnam War. President Johnson secured congressional authorization increasing US troops in Vietnam. Later, declassified documents revealed doubts about the legitimacy of the second attack. Our journey through history's cover-ups takes us to the heart of the Soviet Union, to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine. It's April 26, 1986, and a routine safety test goes horribly wrong, triggering a catastrophic explosion that tears through the plant's reactor number 4. The Chernobyl disaster released a massive plume of radioactive material into the atmosphere, contaminating vast areas of Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. The Soviet government, fearing international backlash and economic repercussions, initially attempted to downplay the severity of the disaster. Information about the explosion was suppressed, and residents of nearby Pripyat were not evacuated until 36 hours after the initial explosion. The world watched in horror as the true extent of the disaster unfolded. The Chernobyl disaster exposed the dangers of government secrecy and the human cost of prioritizing political expediency over public safety. Our exploration of history's dark side takes us to My Lai, South Vietnam. On March 16, 1968, US soldiers entered My Lai, believing it to be a Viet Cong stronghold. What followed was one of the most horrific war crimes in American history. Led by Lieutenant William Calley, soldiers murdered hundreds of unarmed civilians. The massacre was initially covered up by the US Army. Soldiers were ordered to keep silent and reports were suppressed. However, the truth refused to be buried. A year later, Hugh Thompson Jr. exposed the massacre. The My Lai massacre sparked global outrage. Our journey through the shadowy world of government cover-ups takes us deep into the heart of the Cold War, to a time when paranoia and suspicion ran rampant. It's the 1950s, and the CIA embarks on a top-secret program known as MK-Ultra, a mind control project aimed at developing techniques to manipulate individuals for intelligence purposes. MK-Ultra involved a wide range of unethical experiments, often conducted on unwitting subjects, including CIA employees, military personnel, doctors, other government agents, prostitutes, mentally ill patients, and members of the general public. Subjects were given LSD, other drugs, and experimental substances, often without their knowledge or consent, to study their effects on behavior, memory, and perception. It wasn't until 1975, during the Church Committee hearings, that the shocking truth about MK-Ultra began to emerge. Our final stop takes us to the cutthroat world of corporate America, where greed, ambition, and a thirst for profit often trump ethical considerations. It's the late 1990s, and Enron Corporation, an energy giant based in Houston, Texas, is riding high. Enron is hailed as a model of innovation and success, its stock price soaring to dizzying heights. But behind the facade of corporate brilliance lay a web of deceit, accounting fraud, and systemic corruption. Enron's executives, led by CEO Kenneth Lay and CFO Andrew Fastow, engaged in complex accounting schemes to hide billions of dollars in debt and inflate the company's earnings. In December 2001, Enron filed for bankruptcy, becoming one of the largest corporate collapses in American history. The Enron scandal sent shockwaves through the business world, exposing the dangers of unchecked corporate greed, lax regulations, and a culture of complicity. We've covered a lot of ground today, from political scandals to scientific experiments gone wrong to corporate greed and cover-ups. What have we learned? For one, that history is far from a boring subject confined to textbooks. It's full of intrigue, mystery, and yes, even cover-ups that continue to shape our world today. More importantly, We've seen how fragile truth can be, how easily it can be manipulated, suppressed, or outright buried by those in power. But we've also seen the power of persistence, of digging deeper, of questioning the official narrative. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's biggest cover-ups, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Dr. Wonderworks for more mind-blowing historical explorations. Until next time, stay curious, keep questioning, and never stop searching for the truth.